Hello, everyone, and welcome to Old World. We are back with another head-to-head matchup, the Old World 2025 tournament games. Very excited to be back in this match. We have Nizar against Yagman. A really tense match on a tiny square dual map. In Yagman's side, we have Assyria. We have a hero, a swift, heckler, fierce, impulsive, which is more courage hero. So all of the great stats you would ever want and need, or at least a handful of them, to do some serious damage. Let's see where the hero is located. He's up here on an Axeman. Very nice to see. It's turn 59. In the game now, it's turn 59. We have 39 science on the Assyrians. Navigation, phalanx, monasticism, and machinery all in the deck. We're going for navigation. That will be our 6th law. We have 4 currently. Can enact tyranny in a moment, which will be lovely. I'm pretty sure we just researched sovereignty. No, we just researched civics boost. We can get tyranny now. So where are we at in terms of the towers? Yeah, we have navigation, and then once monasticism cycles back into the deck, which could theoretically happen in the next draw, because we are on a discard pile. We only have 2 cards in the deck left to draw. So in theory, monasticism could come right back into our hand. And that would put us on the path to our 7th law. And let's see here. We have some culture. Lots of tips here. Research is focused upward part of the tree. Religion, religion, religion. Influence Judaism, head, then convert everybody. Kill the stupid raiders. Navigation, 7th law, go get them. Navigation, I don't believe it's the 7th law. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Navigation is 6th. So maybe that means get the navigation. Go 7th law, get more ships. Navigation needed. Keep an eye on your scouts. Need 1 more scout in the middle of his territory. Don't forget to use your hero. That's your chance to turn the tide of this battle. All right, so Nizar has given himself a lovely set of game plans over here to reference. This is kind of hilariously awesome. Looks like we're building some roads. Nizar, I think, is ready to go for the throat here. And again, if you're just tuning in, we do have a swift hero, heckler, fierce. We are currently live in this chat. And if you're watching after the fact on YouTube, thanks for joining in. I'd love it if you could be so kind as to give us a like, a subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and leave a comment. Help push the algorithm so we can all get more content for this game that we love so much flying around on the internet. We have over 50 videos in the tournament, and we're not even halfway through the tournament. We're going to have much, much more content to come in the coming weeks. Yeah, Nizar is starting to build units around the map. 2 axemen in the queue. Battering ram. Bring a disciple out to send this around. Let's look at his political situation. Not great. Not the worst. But, again, he made that note to spread Judaism around because the Jews love him at the moment. So if he can spread this to a high-growth city, you can spam out a few more disciples. Keep ship here for safety. He has 6 ships that you have counted. Okay. Interesting, interesting. Lots of notes on a Nizar and a nice big earthquake for Yagman. Welcome to the chat, Alcaris. Huge earthquake cover most of the area of the Axumite Empire, but fortunately, much luck, only 2 improvements were damaged. What did we just research? We just researched forestry. So interestingly enough, the note for Nizar on his side of the map says there's no forestry yet, and we have forestry now. And I think he's under the impression that Yagman has gone top heavy, which is only partially true. Oh, and we left off with a scout here that has created an agent network. Not where I would have put my agent network. So we have to take some time. I really want to see an agent network getting up in Nimrod, getting up in Mardaman. Carchemish is actually the least important agent network you could grab right now. The other alternative is a capital because there's 5 specialists there. Maybe there's some good science. But really, Yagman wants to be able to see this peninsula, his opposing peninsula. And then you could just, once you get set up a couple agent networks up here, you can just bring your scout back down into these woods, and the scout will be enough visibility down here. Both players are taking their time with their first turn. They're not resuming the timer now because they had a bit of a break in between this part of the match. We're getting our mint coin, our second mint coin up and running. Let's take a look at the political situation in Axum. Really great opinion on the single patron seat. I went over this a little bit on the last part, but I'll just to recap on this. One really nice thing about the patron seat is since his happiness boost stays high for most of the game, it's really easy to just kind of have one city for the family, allowing you to multiply greater ratios of other families. So Axum actually has 5 champion cities, 1 trader city, and 1 patron city. So they're effectively Rome in this case. They have 2 training and then extra 2 training in the majority of their cities. And despite all of this envy, the patron seat is thrilled to be alive. They're thrilled to be here. They're having a great day, a great time, because they never have discontent. Really, really cool feature to do. We're going for phalanx. While we have composite bow, I would prefer composite bow here. We have tons of free stuff in the bank here. We have free maceman, free archer, free onager. So here's hoping he doesn't get all 3 of these in one hand. The onager would be well worth it, but the maceman could help, and the archer probably the least important. I'd love to see a grab of... We have 100 science per turn, by the way. Wow. Okay, check this out. Let's take a look here for a recap. We've hit 100 science per turn before turn 60 compared to Nizar's 40 science. So Nizar's note about getting 7 laws and then going to kill Axum is right on the nose because he's running out of time. He could get stirrups in 6 turns. And that's not necessarily a high value tech, but when you see no spears on the map and your opponent's unique unit is siege, I mean, a bunch of horsemen are going to look really, really nice. And he can get that in just about 8 turns if it comes up in the next hand. So, probably 7, to be honest. So I would love, personally, especially for the sake of the increased variety and the tournament we're dealing with, we're making 50 food per turn. I would love to see a stirrup play as a defensive measure. We have lots of open flatland in here, which is we're worried about this coming in. There's also lots of open flatland down here and over here. So, and if, you know, worst come to worst, people are coming in this way. Lots of open flatland to work with, and I really think a stirrups grab would be super interesting to see and not at all a bad move. Going back to the thing that I've been saying throughout this match as Axum, we can see that we have seen so far that Assyria has no spears. They're not building spears. And then we, through our omniscient observer mode, know that Assyria is not building any spears at all. So when you end up in a situation like that, even if there were a few spears, this would still be fine. But the majority, let's take a look here just to be clear. The majority of the Assyrian army, let's look at this. Bow, bow, bow. The majority of the Assyrian army is archers and axemen. and incoming are battering rams and eventually siege towers. So when you're dealing with, and let's be clear that Yagman can see most of this. He can see all of the stuff here. He can see some of the stuff down here. So when you're confronted with a map situation like this, no reason not to really lean heavily into a mounted composition. So we have Spoked Wheel. I want to see more chariots coming out, and I would just love, love, love if Yagman could kind of come up with this foresight and like the analysis of the game state to say, hey, you know what would really mess Assyria up? Horsemen, 6 strength horsemen. Because you're going to be coming in, he's going to be coming in potentially, he's at 5 laws. He could be coming in with 8 strength siege towers. 6 strength horsemen will really mess those up. That's a nice counter. So, here's hoping we can see a really nice, solidly early stirrup grab. And really, that'll be, I think, a unique situation in this tournament. And I feel like what would seem like a unique situation for the dueling meta, in fact, because I feel like horses are not a high-value pick in most games. Because people are just too terrified of spears. Too terrified of coming up in against an army that's just massed spears. But man, if your opponent doesn't have any spears, then horsemen start looking really nice. All right, let's go back over to Nizar. Still having some raider situation he's working with, but he should clean these up quite nicely. And again, just to highlight, we do have a nice young 31 years old hero on the throne who's swift, who has heckler, who has fierce, who is impulsive, decent stats across the board. And our training stockpile is massive with 241 training per turn. So this hero can do a lot of damage. On the Axumite side, we have a 6 wisdom intelligent pathfinder scholar. So a fantastic ruler for Axum that's helping contribute to our 100 science per turn. But militarily speaking, that's not really going to help us out. Let's see what the air situation is on over in Axum just to double check. The air, however, is a hero. He's 51 years old, though, so what's our dynasty look like? Not a lot of great options. Well, no, we have a Zealot if we need it. Zealot would be next in line after this, so yeah, a Zealot could really come in handy. Hopefully the hero dies at some point. He's old at 51 years old. Then we can get an 8 Courage Zealot, Ruthless, and then, of course, we have high civic income because, decent amount of anyway. So we can start enlisting. So that's some strategy we can employ there. All right, the timer has been started. We've gotten our Jewish disciple from the champ seat into Martyrman, pulling out more Jewish disciples, getting a road network on because he wants to get this coastal highway up in gear. And we have 2-turn rams. 2 to 3 turn rams, 4 turnish on siege towers. So pretty solid production in the champ seat, as one would expect. And of course, the frightening thing about Assyria along the coastline is there's nothing more terrifying than being able to hurl siege towers across the ocean as if they move like mounted units. All right, kicking into gear now. Our science is 40 science per turn, so that's a 5-turn navigation, and then it would be a 10-turn monasticism. So honestly, at 100 science per turn on Yagman's side of the map, if Nizar is really going to hang back and wait for 7 laws and his 8th strength unit, if that's what he's waiting for, which according to this note, it says navigation, 7th law, go get him. That means we no longer have a judge on the throne, so with 6 turns on a citadel, 4 turns on navigation, another 10-ish turns, if our science doesn't get any better, on monasticism, and that's only if it comes right back into the deck, mind you, we are possibly 25 turns away before Nizar feels ready to attack. He could attack early, but if he's gonna wait for those 8 strength units, he's a ways away. He's 20 to 30 turns away. So, what does that mean for Axum? Axum, with their 100 science per turn, is going to have so much time to really catch up and just chew. In fact, let's math this out. This is a 2-turn rhetoric. This is a 2-turn sovereignty. And technically it would be a 1-turn Reddick. But call these 3 or 4 turns for these two. Another 3 or 4 turns for this because I'm factoring overflow, right? And we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 laws. And then call it another 6 turns. So we're calling it, what is that, 4, 6-ish, 7-ish. Maybe call it 8 plus 6. Yeah. So in the time that it's going to take Nizar to get 7 laws, I think it's entirely possible for Axum to get 7 laws and doctrine. So not looking so hard for Nizar. That's one of the worries that you have to factor in about high science growth if you can't pressure. Really going to be curious to see what will happen there. Alright, so I think I'm fully kind of out of analysis mode for now. And let's not forget that the Vandals are at peace with the Axumites. So all raids, we have another one coming in. All raids from the map are kind of headed towards Assyria with the exception of this site up here that has done minimal harass for Axum. But really, his navy has been handling it through the Thracian Sea quite nicely. All right. Really exciting match, though. There's been some interesting exchanges across the coast. Lots of possibilities. We're getting walls down here in Sabai, so, I mean, again, I don't really favor heavily defensive plays, but you have a champ seat with a wall in it. That certainly will be difficult to take for Nizar. And we have moats, so if we pop a judge in here real quick, which we do have, we could purchase a moat outright. That'll be tricky. But the other thing is I also kind of don't really favor grabbing walls and moats against Assyria, but I suppose anything that would help buy you time, I guess. But those towers are just going to do a number of damage. You really want to stop them in the field. You don't want to have a strategy that revolves around those towers hitting your cities. Let's see, we have decent enough Spy Master. I want to see something here. He could use the Spy Master mission to reveal the map. I'd like to see that as well. Really leverage that visibility situation. Because as we can see right here through the fog, he can't actually see this border. So we want some more agent networks. Getting a cooldown in 2 more years. And, I mean, I guess we might not have to run the mission if it's only going to take 5 years per cooldown. But I don't know. I'd like to see it because it's a useful skill. What else do we have? We could be... Well, I guess our income's not that high, but... And our opinion's alright, but we could be running family gifts if we're worried about opinion. I always like to run that a little bit if it's available. And we have a decent ambassador. We have a couple of decent ambassadors running around. Options, anyway. Alright, so overall, I think Axum looks like they're in a comfortable spot. Yagman has showed off a nice ability to kind of expand and develop. He did take his time with some settlements, lost a little bit of synergy with his early Ishtar Gate over here. But, you know, I mean, he's doing alright. He has a stronghold in the capital now. He is, let's do this math, 6 turns. So we will get that sub-70 turn legendary city from the Axumites, from a player in the tournament so far. I'm not sure that we've seen one below 70 so far. That's definitely a benchmark for me anyway. And patrons can certainly pull it off. So let's see what wonders are in the game. We have we have the Colosseum, we have the Heliopolis, we have the Hagia Sophia is actually not bad either. And if we're going to stirrups play, we do have the Circus Maximus to play around with as well. Chthon could also be an interesting grab on this map that I'd like to see. Of course, we don't really have the economy for it. However, if it were me, because that's how I roll, I would be orienting my economy around grabbing that Colosseum. Let's take a quick jump back at Nizar. Axes are coming down the pipe. Another axe, so we're gearing up. Heavily building axes. Axes and rams. So what does this signal for us? Again, as the omniscient observers, get horses. Not a spear in sight. Not a single spear in all of Assyria. Oh man, I really hope someday I get a match like this because I'm just going to smack somebody upside the head with a bunch of chariots for building their army like this. Like, it's incredible. I mean, this is one of quite a few games in the tournament so far where we've seen the composition of one side of the map have nearly 0 spears on it, and yet the other side of the map has almost no mounted units. So I'd really love to see somebody just kind of punish the lack of phalanx, the lack of polearm, to a massive degree. Let's see where Nizar is in terms of his path. He's close enough to Manor that he could start getting conscripts shortly enough, I suppose. But yeah, as an example, Nizar doesn't even have phalanx yet. He's not even teching it because he's going for laws. So yeah, and we know his next destination will be monasticism when it comes up. So Assyria is not going to see spears in a while. Alcaraz says he got a sub 70 legendary city. Of course he did. Well, good job, buddy. I lost track of your game because it took forever. No, seriously, good job. Sub turn 70. Sorry, I'm being distracted, but I'm just shocked at the fact that he got sub turn 70 in his game and never built the Colosseum. Or if he did, it wasn't until like turn 100. But I guess that's my favorite trick to do. All right, 3 turns on a navigation. And let's look at the strength here. Both opponents are similar. Advantage to Axum here, but again, most of this, not most, but a lot of it is ships. Let's take a look at the compositions. Military units, right? Yagman is 22 units to Nizar's 15, but the real issue that we're going to have here is that 8 of Yagman's 22 units are ships. So currently, in terms of an actual land army that can fight a battle, Nizar's army is currently larger. That's a big problem. That is a big problem. Let's see what we're building. We're building a Demit, building a trapper, building another trapper. This is building a wall, building a fisher. This is the problem. This is the problem. We really need to start ramping up military production because, I mean, come on, guys. When you hit 100 science per turn, you're good. 100 science per turn is 60 turns. You don't need to go any higher. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to dictate the meta too much because you can actually hit 200 science per turn in this threshold. But I mean, you think about like what you're sacrificing to achieve that. More specialists to get science and food and growth and resources. Like, yes, it's nice long term, but if you're leaving yourself more and more defended, well, then that's just risky because your opponent could come in with a stronger army and ruin all your stuff. We have the hero lined up. So there is staging over here from Nizar. Yagman does not have any specific sight on the ship. I'm hoping he notices this anchor. There's no real posturing to deal with it, but I guess he doesn't really have to because all of his slingers, even from down here, even his axe from all the way down here, can make it up to the battle if he needs to. All right, we finished the research of phalanx on Yagman's side of the map. We have the Freemason if we want it. We can take rhetoric if we want it. We could go up land consolidation if we want it. Get a free horse. Make our way towards manor. We could cycle the deck because we are a scholar to take composite bow. Or the next one has a free onager. We could go right for the free onager. Put a little bit of fear in Nizar's plans. If you pop an onager up on these hills, it'll be very difficult to make progress in this territory. You get a 4-turn attack range all up into this area. Kind of force your opponent to go straight into the champ seat, which would also be better for you. Maceman would be decent, but really with the number of archers and the ballista, I would be worried that the Maceman will just die. Alcaraz says shoot for 300 science per turn. Don't do that. I mean, you can if you and your opponent are just empire building, but if one of your opponent is staged outside your border with a pretty scary force, you need to start building units. Like, you need a military to defend yourself. Yagman has pretty good tactics, though, so I'm sure he'll be able to do well enough in his defense. Really love to see this legendary city coming online, though. What do we really gain from this? A couple of doctors would be nice. So the capital can keep doing specialists. Get a couple of doctors out. That'll spike your science pretty large. 42 of our 100 science is coming from just one city. So this one capital, for those of us watching, this one capital is generating as much science as Nizar's entire empire. How about that, huh? The patron seat, and this is one of the things we've talked about in chat, is that the patron seat makes a really good science city because this discontent, there's no discontent in the city, so it's effectively, compared to if we look at Nizar's best science city, let's take a quick look and find his best science city. So his best science city is his capital, and he's getting negative 25%, minus 25% science in his capital. So it's not even that high to begin with, but this discontent level 5 is going to cut it by 1/4. So effectively, a duelist has a 25% science boost in the capital. Going straight for mint coin number 4, I suspect we're going to be grabbing, 3, and I suspect we'll grab number 4 as soon as both of these are going to finish in 5 turns. I would not be surprised to see if we go straight to mint coin 4 to get that 40 legitimacy on the Axumites. Also, let's take a peek here. Our ruler died. They were glorious. So where did we put our Stell? I never cracked that. We put our Stell in the champ seat. Okay. Personally, if it were me, I'd put the Stell in the capital because that would be a huge boost of civics in the capital. I love the patron seat Stell. But, you know, more training's never bad. It's effectively a free barracks. All right, really making good Jewish disciple time here off the cleric seat for that boost. He also could take some of his civics to decide to grab something like mythology or what's good these days? I guess legalism, but that takes so much time to actually make pay off. I don't know, veneration could be fun just for fun, but we're spreading that Judaism. Our champion seat is now actually Jewish, which is amazing. We have incredible opinion here now, which is going to be a huge boon. That's going to be an extra 10% combat strength compared against the Axumites who have no combat bonus. And if this goes in the negative, it will basically be a difference of 15%. So that's really cool. Two turns on navigation. Getting more roads up and running. I think we're fully connected now in Axum. It's nice to see. And yeah, this military buildup, we're going to build another ram, I suspect. 3 turns on that. And basically, the Axumites are building a military unit in every single city, while, the Assyrians are building a military unit in every single city. Nizar. And the Axumites are building 1 military unit in their cities. And now we're building a moat. Really would like to see this get bought with gold if we have it. But I mean, you know, let's see. Here, let's do a ram against a wall. Yeah, so let's do a ram against... What is that? Is that a moat down here? No, that's the champion seat. With a wall. Yeah, I mean, still... That's better than no wall, I suppose. I mean, is it? 1, 2... I don't know. I have a hard time making walls feel worth it. Using all of our training to start promoting our units. Oh, we're moving. We've made landfall. Whoops. There we go. We have Assyrians on the shores and promotions coming in. So we are engaging. And this is kind of, I think, decent enough timing for Nizar. He's certainly up on the clock. Let's see we're promoting units, spending training, full crit on the ballista, 45% chance. We have our hero. Interesting. I kind of like this. He put guard on the hero, which makes sense because you just don't want your hero to die, and you're not going to attack with it if you're going to plan on using launch offensive every turn, because he has the training to probably do it for a little bit anyway. This could end up being a decisive blow. This is the attack we've been worried about since this city has been founded, since the free Byreme has hit the water. Heading over to Axum now to see the response here. There we go. Let's see what we can do. Yep. Not a lot of damage to these axemen. They're going to creep towards us. And honestly, I think the solution in this case is to let them, for now, let them creep forward. Let them come in close, because you'll be able to use your coastal movement for serious, good flanking maneuvers. He's getting into the woods. He's worried about archers. Alright, so Nizar took out a militia last turn. Let's see where that militia was. Right here. He took out a militia right in front of Sabat. Makes sense. Alright, here we go, guys. Here we go. If you've been tuning in for the first part, this has been an exciting matchup. Really tense possibility spaces happening. With Axum denying the coastal landfall before the city was settled. With Assyria getting the one free ship. They don't even have navigation yet. Their one hope to anchor across. Nearly losing it in the southern sea before Yagman had let it slip away. Lots of possibilities and back and forth tension. And here we are at last. With the Assyrians landing on the Axumite shoreline, ready to inflict their will and dominance on the inferior empire. Still, this is so misleading because 8 of these are ships. Poor Yagman doesn't realize that Axum actually has the larger army. I feel so yucky about that. We're opting for Maceman now. Okay, a free Maceman. That could come in handy here. And then a free Onager next turn, which is a bit unfortunate. I want to see a cycle to those stirrups. 3 turns on Demits are not too bad. Let's take a look at another Demit. What we could do here. 7 damage out in the open. We need more ranged units in this composition as well. This is another reason why I would have liked to see slingers getting spammed. Awesome. This is the other thing. You're under attack now. You do not spend 4 or 5 turns building a trapper. You immediately swap and build. Look at this, a 4-turn slinger. So in the time it's going to take him, I hope he swaps. Because in the time Yagman it's going to take him to finish this trapper, he could have a slinger for this battle. Over here, same thing. But if he stays with these trappers, he's neglecting 2 units that can come into the battle. Same down here. And in this situation, you don't want to be building your units when you're under attack, but if you are under attack, it's time to swap. All right, over to Nizar now. Let's see what he chooses to do. Let's see what he chooses to do. He might opt. Maybe he's just securing a foothold here. Putting Yagman in a tense situation. It would be odd if he didn't advance further. But he just promoted this archer. Oh, with marksman, so he can start pelting this city unobstructed. That's nice to see. Would still do quite a bit of damage to these units in the woods as well. With a high chance to crit. So he can put... This one archer has the potential to do 8 damage to a unit in the woods if it crits. Very easy to overlook the compounding effects of promotions. Nizar doing a good job making sure he gets the road network all across in the key spots where he needs it. Chopping some forests as well. Really want to see these build queues. Yagman has one last opportunity to like immediately pivot into military production here, and I just don't see him taking it, which is just really unfortunate. Getting another scout, that makes sense. Getting more axes, and that's the other difference. We have 3 more units, 4 more units, 5 more units coming out from the Assyrians in the next 3 to 4 turns, with still only 1 unit on the Axum side. We need a serious We need a serious military pivot on the part of Yagman. Still possible, though. It seems like we're just content to stay here fortified, so we're swapping over. So this is just a posturing move on account of Nizar, apparently. Which, the reason why I don't like that idea is because even though Yagman is not pivoting to military units, if he did, something like this gives him the warning he needs to immediately switch into gear and bring more military online. I will understand grabbing the free onager here. It will certainly be helpful. Again, plop it up on this hill, and that's going to be a great defensive unit. It also could scare Yagman into thinking that his opponent has machinery when he's nowhere near machinery. And then I really think I would swap, and I think I would press stirrups here hardcore after this onager. I'd be building more chariots as well. 3 turns on a chariot. These demits are nice, but the chariots are going to increase your kill potential. You need to kill multiple things. We only have 1 chariot. We want 3 or 4 chariots here, if not more. Let's see what this 1 chariot can do out in the open. 5 damage there. 7 damage there. So just as a comparison, this 1 chariot out in the open can do 7 damage compared to this Demit warrior that also does 7 damage. So your chariot is going to do just as much damage as a Demit, but it can rout. Because it's all flatland territory. Demits are still going to be good here with the disarm. You know, you could disarm a couple units and then rout through all of them. That'll be a nice combo. But you need to increase your kill potential here. Really, okay, so maybe we finish what's in our queues now, but I really hope every single build queue after it's done building whatever it's building swaps into military units. I feel like Yagman is running out of time. He's running out of time here. He needs to defend himself. This game is Yagman's to lose. With 100 science rate per turn and his nice entrenched position, all he needs to do is just have an army. And he can build 4-turn slingers, 5-turn axemen. He can get an army. But he's just not building one, which is a shame to see. Nizar is coming up. We get navigation now, so our order econ will come online. We're taking drama for the cycle. Wait, no, what? We have monasticism. That would be our 7th law. I don't understand what's happening. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Divine rule is 6. Monasticism is our 7th law. What on earth is happening? Now we're getting spoked wheel. Okay. Nizar is just messing with me. We'll see if he stays on spoked wheel. Spoked wheel would be useful for him as well. Not a lot, and there's not much in the way of spears in Axum either. Diversity of unit composition is key here. And really would love to see Axum leverage. They don't even have an agent network in here, an agent in here yet. Want to see him come up and put an agent in Nimrod and give himself vision. Still no movement on the front. Very interesting landfall here. But now, I mean, this archer will be able to harass this city completely unobstructed because, I mean, good luck breaking into that. So now he's secured his harass position. It's now Nizar who can poke indefinitely. Ironic twist from the fact, dear God, man, 7 laws or not, we do have a strong city that will be able to go. So, all right, we're moving a unit. Our Axeman is advancing. Out in the open here. A ram, do 7 damage to a ram. And that's another good example. A chariot will do a 7 damage to a ram compared to a Demit, which does 5. Probably going to put this hero here, I would suspect. Slowly creeping towards his opponent. How many turns on that onager? Let's find out. 2? 2. Alright, he's going to need that. It's 2 turns till it arrives, and then 1 more turn before it... Whoa! There's a critical hit. Critical hit from the ballista. Obliterated that ship at sea. Okay, we have plenty of anchors left where that came from, but that is yet another Axumite ship being destroyed off the coast by a ballista. Question from chat says, how many orders are needed to be on the offensive here? Well, with the series abilities to get 2 units orders per kill, honestly, I think 30 is enough. I think you can do this with 30 orders. Let's look at the order rate between... I mean, they're neck and neck, right? So you're gonna... The one issue you're gonna face is better mobility. As soon as Nizar steps off one of these coastal tiles, it will open up a potential flanking position. So that's going to be the struggle that Nizar is going to face, is that if he leaves a window of opportunity, any type of unit can just flank. Like, for example, this chariot can already flank back here. Not saying that this is a good idea, mind you, but this is just an example. This chariot can already get into Assyrian territory because of this path. So this is the type of stuff that Nizar is going to have to deal with as he advances further. He can't allow a bunch of chariots or different units to come behind him and take out his units. And at the moment, they actually have the same order rate, but Axum spending 10 on improvements. Still no swapping to military units yet. The clock is ticking. Clock is ticking. Let's look at this power score. All right. 2 units coming out next turn for Assyria. So for Axum, I mean, a Demit and an Onager. But in Assyria, we have a battering ram and 2 axes in 2 turns and 2 axes in 3 turns. So, yuck. Lots and lots of military production coming out of Assyria. Lots of aggression potential and kill potential from Nizar moving in. We need more units. Yagman needs an army. Running out of time. Needs to start spending his 2,000 training on promotions. We should see strike being added to this chariot. We should see maybe another guard on the Demit. I think guard actually works for Demits, and I'm going to explain why I think that. Because they kind of need to get up at heavy in the action anyway to apply their debuff. So maybe they're one of the weird cases where it actually makes sense to keep that unit alive as long as possible. But generally, I don't really like guard. Would love to see maybe tough or focused or Highlander, so since there's a couple of these nice key hills and these hills up here on this Maceman. Generals as well. We have a 22% Zealot hanging around. And that is our heir, one of our heirs that we can upgrade, abdicate into, get a bunch of civics, and we can use that as a Hail Mary. We're still building improvements. This is wild to me. This is wild to me. We're moving workers and building improvements. Yagman is cool and confident in the face. So yes, great question. Could Yagman try to kill this ship? Well, interestingly enough, now that he would need a boat. I don't know how much damage he could do to the ship, because I can't see it. But in theory, yes, he could come up here. But the problem is he only has 2 attacks. So he could do 6 damage. He can do 12 damage. He needs to find another 8 damage. He could do 14 damage with a chariot. So he needs to find another 6 damage. And if he moved the ship up here, every archer will kill both ships. And then this thing would probably just run away and heal, which I guess would be a good thing, right? If it moves, then yes, everything would be trapped. That would be an interesting... It's certainly an interesting puzzle to try and solve. Another thing that Axum could do... Where is it? I know it's here. He needs to put Fire Ship on this bireme. If he puts Fire Ship on this bireme, 2 things will happen. He'll come up here. He'll hit this. It will get bumped, which will disable the anchor. So that's a big thing. Literally should be promoting Fire Ship right now. He should be seeing where it is. And then, do we have another one? We do have Fire Ship. We have the Fire Ship promotion available for Axum. So, he could be hanging... Is that out in the open? Can Nizar see this? He can see this. If Axum comes up with a Fire Ship and nails this ship, it will push it into this tile, doing 6 damage, and then 3 more ships can come up and do enough damage to destroy this ship, trapping all of the units on this side of the coast. The plan is possible. It would be 1 attack, moving this tile here, would disable the anchor, period. But then secondly, that would give you, on this tile, 3 new routes to attack, and we have 3 ships down here. All in range. Axum can disable Assyria's ability to retreat. And that would be quite possibly the coolest thing I've ever seen in this game if that happens. Please, for the love of God, Yagman, do that. Oh my God. To say nothing of the fact that it would be absolutely devastating for Nizar. I mean, he'd still have strong units, but without the ability to reinforce, I think Assyria would lose the battle long term. So the question is, when does Yagman decide to pull that trigger? Did we get any better agent networks last turn? No, we didn't. So we need more vision, because we need... That's the other thing about agent networks. If he puts agents in these cities, Yagman can see what's being built in these cities in addition to having vision of the territory. So move up this scout, put a scout in here, an agent network in here, put your agents in here, right? And then Yagman can just wait and watch. Wait and watch. He knows there will be no other boats, and at any point in the time when he decides there's enough units on this peninsula that he feels he can win the battle, just come in with this ship, murder the ship, and destroy the Assyrian army. Oh God, I hope this happens. I hope this happens. And that's what's been so fun about this match, is because let's say that match does that. Let's say that every event happens. Just the fact that it's even possible is the most entertaining thing about this match to me. There's so many fascinating possibilities that have taken place. Nizar just slowly creeping forward. And I really hope Yagman is just being patient. I hope to God this is Yagman's plan. Just, oh, okay, yeah, come on in. Come on in. to axe them. It's lovely. And at any point, he can decide. Yagman can literally decide how many Assyrian troops he wants to fight. 2, 4, 6, 8. He can be like, all right, I can take 8. Or now we have 10. Like, okay, 10 seems a bit much. We have 11. He can be like, all right, 10, 11 seems too much. And then he can cut them off right now. Or you can wait even more. You can wait for more. Doing some pillaging. But yeah, if Yagman has this as a plan, if he has this fire ship in mind, we do have the promotion. As long as Yagman is thinking what I'm thinking, what we're thinking, it is entirely possible for Yagman to just decide what this battle looks like by being able to eliminate that ship. Incredible. Incredible. What amazing tension. Which is another reason why I want to see more units being built. Come on, Yagman. Two more axes coming out next turn. I think it might be a wise idea to cut that ship down now. We would just need one force march, which we can afford. We would need enough orders to do all of it. We're spending far too many orders on improvements. 12 orders on improvement construction. We're in wartime, man. He doesn't care. This is incredible. Cool as a cucumber. All right, we have the free onager, and I would really, really, really love to see stirrups here, or maybe battle line. Either one is solid. My preference would be stirrups. But I guess battle line, I guess maces would also shred these units too. Maces is probably stronger, I guess. What is that, 50%? No, just 25. Yeah, I don't know. I'd probably do stirrups. Not gonna lie, I'd probably do stirrups. Or God, finally get composite bow at some point. All right, Yagman, let's go. Let's see what we're going to do here. We have 19 orders. Nizar can start taking some kills next turn. Possibly more than one. Really need to get that onager in a strong position. We'll need to force march this as well. I forgot it's going to come out in the capital. We'll get it over here. You could get it to this hill with a force march. Could get it back here with a force march as well. That would be... Alright, we got it all the way up here. That is too far back. This is a flat tile. That's way too far back. You want it up... So currently his range, if we can see this, is these tiles right out front. You want it on this hill, because then your range would be 1, 2, 3, 4. You'd be able to shoot all of this. So he only has 1 tile worth of range outside the city, as opposed to needing 3. And look, these archers, when they come up, they'll be able to pelt everything. That's unfortunately a real tactical blunder on the fact of Yagman. I love the idea that we force march, but you need it on a hill. Or in these woods right behind the city. I suppose the concern is that the archers would come up and just kill the onager, so in fairness, I can actually understand that. Allow me to give him a little bit of grace there and understand that if he put it out here in the open, it is possible that a bunch of archers would just... Look how much damage they're going to do in an axe. He's going to have a serious problem here. He needs to cut off that ship. We are getting stirrups. Love to see it. Oh, I'm so thrilled about that. We're building 2-turn chariots. Fantastic. Yagman made the correct assessment. He's looking at this peninsula. He's saying, hey, you know what? That looks like a route chain waiting to happen because I still do not see spears. Good. Good. Upgrading to an axe back here. Fine. 2-turn chariots, great. Building an 8-turn chariot down here. Can rush it soon if we need to. Great. We're going full bore on the chariots. That's what we need to do. 6 turns on stirrups. Do we have any other potential to build chariots on this map? Down here, but we don't have a pasture. But that can be another chariot, another mounted unit coming out. Would take some time, but still viable. It's unfortunate because Nizar is going to get the alpha strike here, and he already has the numbers advantage on land. If we can get any amphibious promotions, that's another one we want to grab, because we'd do 3 damage now on these units. If we get amphibious, that's going to be about a 5 or 6 damage. So amphibious is really great. If you upgrade to marines, it gets even stronger. All right, headed over to Nizar now and seeing what we're going to do. Really hope Yagman pulls the trigger on this ship to disable retreats, but now way many units. Yagman axemen from this coast can get all the way to this battlefield. Axum needs to cut off this supply line. It's imperative. These axes can make it all the way to this frontline coast. Axum is going to be flooded with axes soon. And just too late to be building those chariots. $32 orders per turn, with 2 order refund every kill we make. So Axum needs to stop improving their tiles as well. Exciting time, exciting time. Looks like we took a forced march into this position to get a nice, good look of the landscape. Love to see that. We probably ran up here and then came back, would be my guess. Giving Nizar full vision, or majority vision, of the landscape he's working with. Taking his time, mapping out some attacks. Honestly, at this rate, it might not even be a bad idea to just keep slowly creeping towards your opponent. The onager is nowhere near in sight. We don't... Nizar doesn't know about the onager, but if we just go straight and we don't worry about up here, it might not even play that much of a factor, but of course that would open you up to some flanking maneuvers. But really, we're just not doing a lot of damage to these units. This is going to be a real tricky spot. All right, 1.5 minutes left. Only 7 orders spent on Nizar. He seems to be taking his time. He's likely planning some military moves here. The ballista will only do a handful of damage to this dimmet in the woods, but can do 10 to this dimmet out here in the urban, even though it's fully fortified. All right, moving up with an axe. Probably going to bring from his back line. Yep, he did. He's bringing axes from the back line. No need to move the units that are currently in place. He can just keep dumping units. There goes the fair. 6 growth, 4 science, 46 gold. Just 1 pillage. Oh, no, we're moving off. Okay. Nope, and we choose not to pillage the fair. That is fascinating to me. Okay. That would be a nice little economic blow. I mean, I guess when your opponent's making 100 science per turn, it doesn't really matter. But gold, he's only making 175, so that would cut his gold almost in half. And look, because we didn't onager on this tile, or up on this hill, we can't hit any of these units. They're all getting close to the city. We might not even be able to finish this moat because of the damage on the city. Terrifying. Terrifying situation to be in. Terrifying situation to be in. Slowly creeping towards your opponent. The doom of Axum potentially at hand. If there is going to be a moment where you choose to destroy that ship, now is 100% it. He would need to infer that the ship is there, but he can reach it. Literally just move, force march, bump, and then 1, 2, 3. You still have to worry about this massive army, which would be a problem. But honestly, a lot of your ships would survive because now the archers won't be in range. So this is the time to do it. God, I would love to see this happen. I would give anything for Yagman to fire a ship. That Byreme. Even if he doesn't kill it, just fire ship the Byreme. Oh, that would be incredible. He has 5 minutes to take his time. We have a new build queue freed up. Another build queue. We have a hit legendary. We have an elephant in the scene. That's always nice to see. A war elephant. Going to do nice damage to these rams, especially out in the omen. 10 whole damage to the ram. Nice panic potential as well. Come on. Dislodge the ship. 3 turns on stirrups. Nice. We got a war elephant from the event. That's so great. And we got a mathematical breakthrough. Pretty sure. Yes! He got the extravagant event. Fun fact, if you're extravagant, there's a possibility that you can get a war elephant. So there you go. Cool. Really cool. Love to see that. That's one of my favorite little Easter eggs. Well, it's not an Easter egg. It's a nice get. Really, really cool. Forgive me, I have like an encyclopedic knowledge of the events. It's pretty... I play this game way too much, basically. That's all it is. I just play this game an absurd amount. Alright. So, we've only spent 1 order. Okay, we moved a slinger out. I feel like that slinger's just going to be dead. Not... Ah, please just kill the ship. A maceman in the city. Really don't like that move. That city's gonna... That maceman's just gonna start taking a lot of damage. And these rams are just gonna knock this down. And then what are you gonna do? Onager on rams? You only do 4 damage to onagers. Oh, sorry. The onager only does 4 damage to rams. You really don't want to rely on onagers pelting down rams. Vandals flanking into Assyria. Yeah, gotta get these ships out of the way anyway so those raiders can go unobstructed into Assyria. And it looks like we're not going to pull the trigger on that ship. I really don't think Yagman is aware of his potential here. This is the other reason why I want to see the agent network set up here. Because if you get an agent in Nimrod, there's Byremes coming online. He would be aware of this. We're building the Chthon. Oh, God. Nizar has secured the Chthon. So those ships need to go hunting. Just built it last turn. These ships need to go hunting. There's so many things that Axum needs to do, and so little time to do it. He needs to stop building improvements. Thankfully, he's no longer building any more improvements. Oh, man. So many things to do. Nice. And now we have a scholar on the throne. Sorry, a hero on the throne for Axum. And Nizar just noticed it. So we have two heroes, a hero versus hero. Where is the hero? The hero is back here. Nizar thought he had a distinct advantage with his own hero. And aha! We have moved the onager up. Can Nizar see that? Let's find out. He can. He can see the onager. So we have double fire potential with the onager out into this area. So that is much more like it. We can do 8 damage to an axe, 5 damage to an axe. That's much more like it. Great. A maceman will do 7 damage to axe with the ability to attack twice. Here we go. Now we're talking, Yagman. Now we're talking. Much better setup. The hero exactly where it needs to be. I still worry that these archers could come... No, these archers really can't do too much damage to it. Great. Fantastic. Back to Nizar. The gods have decreed for a hero to rule the kingdom of Axum in their time of need. Of course, he is old. He's 58 years old. So he could die. But a little bit more pause for Nizar, and really would love to see this ship get knocked out. But more ships are on the way. This Chthon is going to be a serious issue. Let's see if Yagman got the notification. You do get notified when your opponent starts building a wonder. So step 1, dislodge the ship. Step 2, go hunting for the Chthon. Really, really cool. And then obviously step 3, figure out how to solve this problem. That might be step 1, to be honest. Spoked wheel in 2 turns on Nizar, compared to 3 turns of stirrups on Yagman. If stirrups can hang out and get a couple of upgraded horsemen, this open plain area will be a minefield for Nizar. And I love Nizar's comment about the new hero on the throne. He says, that's not ideal. Indeed, it's not. Be really curious if he hangs in here or if he decides to retreat. Yeah, Yagman says, felt pretty ideal to me, to be honest. No, we are moving forward. So I'm feeling a launch offensive is on the way. How many archers? If he puts every archer on their hero, it's possible he could kill. I don't think so, though. He would need a couple of crits. Nope, he's going for the city, maybe? Oh, he's ballista-ing. The ballista will definitely do a number. Yep. He can. All right, so we have an attack here. Whew. And 1 unit down. The worker in the way. He'll have to kill it. He's going in for damage on the hero. He wants to kill that hero. Everything is out in the open. If he doesn't kill the hero, how much training do we have? If he does not, if Nizar fails to secure a kill on this hero, then Nizar's hero will undoubtedly die next turn to the launch, to the return fire of a launch offensive here. This ballista being able to move up, though, would be disastrous. So we'll see how he tackles it. All right, we have... Do we... Wait! We don't have enough training to launch! Nizar is out of training! There will be no launch offensive this round. That hero should be going down next turn. That hero should be out of the match, out of this battle next turn, if Yagman has his wits about him. Lots of good possibilities here. He could kill the ballista, but I mean, I feel like you have to take out that hero. Nizar, realizing his mistake, realizing he was 50 training short, says mistakes were made. He was 42 training short of a launch offensive. Real serious issue to be in. Real major tactical blunder. Okay, here we go. 16 turns left on the clock. Passing the turn to Yagman. And now is the return fire. Here we go. 1 kill. For the Demits. For the Assyrians. They took out 1 Demit. Here we go. The Axumites defending their homeland, defending their peninsula, their coast, from the heathen Assyrians, making their way deep into their nation. All right. It looks like we took our first attack on the ballista. Okay. We have a Demit back here. We could have disarmed first. So we're having some tactical issues. This Demit in the backline could move out, up, and disarm. Not opting to double strike this feels like it would be a mistake. Slingers in the region could also come up and hit the... Yeah, he could have killed that hero this turn. Wild. Wild, wild, wild. Let's see what we have for route potentials. Oh, he could come up and route this... Oh, he could come up and route this ram and then get a hit in here. Okay. I'm still liking this. We have a second chariot online as well. Oh, yeah. We're going to do some awful damage here. We're taking a random pot shot. Okay, so now we can't route. Unless we move this thing. Not liking this. Not liking this. Okay, our first launch offensive of the match. And we will... I really hate... What you want to do is you want to get this to low health and then use the Onager hitting something else to kill it. The splash damage from the Onager. Keep that in mind next time, especially Yagman, if you rewatch this. Obviously, I like the kill of the Ballista, but you could have done the same thing by doing mass AoE damage to this group and getting maybe a major route. So we can still come in here and route. And we have enough training to do a launch of... All right, yes, we have a route. Good job. Why are we killing axes? No, we need to kill this warrior. We need to kill the hero. What on earth is happening? Okay, so we get another route. Great. Still need to kill this hero. We can come up and disarm it. Really want to see this Demit coming out here to disarm the axe. And then maybe Elephant come in. That would be... We need 16 damage. This would be 5 plus 8 with a disarm. So that would be 10, potentially. And then a Slinger could come in and kill it off. We can still do this. We can still do this. We need to focus on removing that hero from the battlefield. Removing that launch offensive potential from our opponent. Let's go. 4 minutes on the clock. Yagman has all the time in the world. Disarm. Big whack with an elephant. And move in with a slinger. Let's see it. Or maybe... Yeah, I don't know. I'm so nervous. Also, we can poke. If we need a little bit of extra splash damage, we can move a spear here. Hit this axe. It will poke into... the hero leader. This hero leader can die this round. If this hero leader does not die this round, this will be... Yes! Okay, there's the disarm on the axemen. Let's go, Yagman. Oh, yes! 9 damage. A slinger will be able to kill that hero if this elephant gets involved. Let's go! Let's go, Axum. Nice! There's the slinger. And there comes the elephant! Boom! Stompy boys! Yes! I'm so sorry for being loud, but awesome. Fantastic. Death by elephant. Absolute devastating tactics and response from the Assyrians. Coming in, still not done. 2 chariots. Let's go. Bring a slinger up here and we'll do more. This 1 slinger, 2 damage. We can rout again. Stompy boys for the win. Chariots for the win. Yes, there's the slinger. There's the damage. There's a rout. 1-2 punch. Enough hero to do another launch offensive next turn. We lost 1 unit last turn. We just killed 5 units this turn. That's the kill potential that you want to have happen in a battle. Well done, Yagman. Holy crap. Holy crap. Amazing. And we have a militia coming up in the back line. Maybe we spend a couple of training and try and zone of control lock back here. Force some kills on it. Probably not worth it, but it's definitely a thing we could do. Devastating blow. I think Assyria has lost their advantage now. Especially, we still have the ace in the hole of being able to knock that ship out. Preventing any further retreat, but even without... Nizar saying, Jesus, how many orders do you have? Right as Axum has run out of all of their orders. Fantastic to see. So Ballista down, 2 rams down, the hero ruler down, and 2 axemans down as well. Incredible counterattack and defense mounted by Yagman here. Cool as a cucumber during this entire invasion. Minding his business, keeping his plans. He's building a treasury. He's building treasuries for the love of God. I love this man. Yagman doesn't give any shit about this army in his territory. He's like, come at me. You're done. Whatever. Awesome. He did fail to attack with his chariot, though. But, man, no, fantastic performance. All right, back to Nizar. Nizar either has to go all in here, or honestly, you have to get out of here. Nizar does not have a chance in this battle. He does have more rams, though, but they can't make it. They can get into the field, but they can't make it all the way. What about axes and archers? Archers can get up. So, yeah. He can reinforce quite nicely, but, I mean, that was a devastating loss. 1 kill traded for 5. So we now have a kill count of 5 from the Axumites. Let's see what Assyria responds. I suspect they will retreat. 3 chariots now out in the open. You know you do not have spears. You know there's still no phalanx. There's no option to get spears now. So you know that you are outclassed on this open terrain. We have a horse doing 8 damage to all of these infantry. You're in serious trouble out in this open. You have an onager in the back line. Let's see if Nizar... All right, we're full retreat. Full retreat. Now imagine... Yagman got a lot of kills here, but imagine if he focused only on killing the hero and then just spent 4 orders, or it would be 6 orders, dislodging this anchor. Every one of these units would have been dead. Because all you really needed to do last turn was just make sure you killed the hero and maybe the ballista. And then everything would have been killed next turn. So we don't get our Dunkirk moment, but still very impressive defense from Yagman. Nizar is running away to lick his wounds, and the real issue now is that science gap. Nizar has showed his teeth. He went in for a push, got swatted back down, and now we're dealing with a situation where Nizar is making 40 science per turn in the face of, only 66 now, though. So we've taken a huge hit from losing that scholar. That's nice news for Nizar. But we will have stirrups coming online soon. So I feel like this match could go for a long haul here. Because there's no real way Yagman's going to be able to take this island without onagers or he might be forced to go the long way around. And now they're the ticking time bomb with the Chthon on the map as well. Because that would just swing naval superiority into Yagman's corner. Nizar's corner. Yagman could use his science advantage to try and get to cartography to get his own triremes naturally, though. That's always an option. Let's take a look at the total science invested here. Where's the stats? Here we go. Science. 3,500 science invested into the tech tree compared to Nizar's 2,300 plus a bonus 400 science for getting, he got comp bow for free on turn 15, a very lucky event grab there. Yeah, the 2 chariots are quite scary. Chariots out in the open are no joke. You really need some spears. All right, back to Yagman. Perfectly timed. Oh my god, and the hero is now severely ill. So the hero showed up just in time to mount a defense of Sabat and send the Assyrians back into the sea and could die shortly after. You are a legend, sir. Let's see where we put that other cell. Assuming we got one. Where did it go? I can't find it. Yep, gonna go back to building as usual, I suppose. Where is the other Stell? Did he put it in here? I honestly can't find it. Okay, well, his scholar dying should have given him another Stell, but I don't see where he might have plopped it down. Alright, took a hit with an elephant, taking a kill with a Demit, sending his chariots back to heal up. Wise move, keep these chariots safe and protected in your back line. And invite your opponent to come back into the open plains once more if they wish. Really, really great to see. Nice, tense action. That is the landfall we've been waiting for a few sessions now, and it did not go in Nizar's way. One turn on stirrups. You got to heal up these chariots. Then you could do a mass upgrade. I mean, it's not really a mass upgrade. It'd just be 3 chariots, but you could upgrade 3 chariots into horsemen. Also, horse archers are useful. Both are useful. Get the route out in the open on the horsemen. Oh! Spotting a scout down here. A border boost or border expansion got us a scout. This trapper actually came in handy. The border pop from this trapper enabled visibility in these woods and exposed the scout, giving Axum the ability to clear that scout out. So, foot in mouth, I take back my condescending criticism. My criticism on that was unfounded. So, surprise there for Yagman, Nizar as well. Still a little awkward that a border grab does expose a scout immediately, but it did work like that before the change as well. So, I don't know. We'll see. More and more ships in the ocean, though, for Assyria. These ships can now do damage. He can go in for a kill here if he wants. We'll put him in line for onager fire, though, so he might not want to do that. He could also try to once with his naval superiority, try to shore up a better anchoring situation. I think it's fine, personally. I mean, because you think about also where we are in the game, right? Over time, Portcullis is an espionage thing. I don't think it's important. I don't think it's. I can't say whether it's intended or not, but to me, with the whole purpose of chopping trees, right? You can clear trees to deny people vision and stuff like that. And yeah, that border pop mechanic might be a little weird. But my thinking on that subject is this: you're not supposed to secure vision for the entire game using scouts. At the mid game, at the end game portion of the point, the entire purpose of this technology, portcullis, is to give you free reign of vision of your opponent. So eventually, you won't care about scout positioning because once you put agent networks everywhere, you can see everything. Which, frustratingly, Axum is still not taking advantage of. There's not even an agent in here. But look how many agents we have. How come we're not running around setting up networks? Like, Yagman has portcullis. Yagman has how many agents? Let's take a look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? So we can put a network. We have one here. 2, 3, 4. Don't need one here. 5. We could get full unobstructed vision of the Assyrian Empire in the same way as if we were an observer, and then at that point, it doesn't matter where the hell your scout is because you've just secured vision. So, yes, I do understand that that's a little frustrating, and maybe the Mohawk should look at that for sure. I can understand the logic personally. I don't mind it. But one of the things my thinking here is scouts aren't supposed to give you vision for the entire game. That's why I didn't like the original change where they made scout vision permanent. Not vision, invisibility permanent. I think it was counterintuitive and it actually devalued portcullis even further. It's hard enough to grab it and make it work, right? But it devalued it even further because, well, if your scout can give you vision all game, then what the hell is the point of agent networks? So anyway, that's my rant on that. But yeah, certainly frustrating. It's always frustrating to be surprised by rules when they work a little funny, for sure, especially in the heat of conflict. Certainly nothing wrong with bringing that up and voicing a suggestion for Mohawk to maybe take another look, for sure. But I think if you want reliable vision in the map in this kind of dual conflict setting, get portcullis. Set up some networks. Then you'll never have to worry about things like border boosts or scout timers or anything like that. All right, so we are getting barracks garrison in the cleric seat, trapper over here, trapper over here. We're converting back to specialists builds, which is interesting. I suppose we're worried about science and some more orders. Really ramping up Navy production. This is going to be a problem for Yagman. Naval superiority is going to shift drastically for Nizar in the next 10 turns, especially because in 11 turns, we're going to get a trireme on the map. Really dangerous position. We want to move... These raiders are coming down to Assyria, so we want to move these boats out of the way. And with that, I'm going to take just a quick break myself. Just going to fill up my cup of water. And we'll just sit with you here. Right, we are back. You're with us live still. Really appreciate you being here, tuning in. It means a lot that you're with me on this journey in this exciting match. If you're with us on YouTube watching after the fact, I hope you're enjoying the tournament. It's been an immense pleasure and joy to cast all of these games. And please give us a like, a subscribe, head on over to the Mohawk channel as well, and check out the playlist. We have lots of content creators streaming these games. It does take a lot of our time. You know, these games aren't necessarily quick, and sometimes they take multiple sessions and multiple days. I'm happy to be here, but it is a commitment, so any bit of love we can get is greatly appreciated. Question from the chat. Axum's patron seat went legendary. He doesn't have the resets yet for Coliseum. No, not really, but we are relatively close. Let's take a look here. It's only 2,400 gold away. We're making 66 stone per turn. And Assyria is nowhere near a legendary, so for all intents and purposes, the Coliseum is locked. In all honesty, what's the sale price of this? Do we have enough to... No, we need food for this. We don't want to sell food. Yeah, no, so we're a ways away. We're about, I don't know, call it... Oh, and we got engineering, actually. This is amazing. So we only need 900 stone. Yeah, so we're like 5 turns away from being able to build this. That's incredible. That's incredible. Okay. Love it. Love it. That's going to be a ticking clock for Nizar long term. We finished our stirrups as well, which I'm really glad to see. Some interesting choices in the tech tree. Both combo and land consolidation get us further to manor, which get us conscripts, which could be useful, as well as free longbowmen, 2 of them, which would be useful, and also gets us closer to Bodkin. Or, alternatively, we could stay on the citizenship route, do citizenship, skip scholarship, go directly to martial code, getting us pilgrimage. Sorry, not pilgrimage. What? I don't care about that. Getting us holy war, which just gets a new promotion on all of our units. The ability to hurry with gold gets us 2 free Shotalize, 8 strength unit, and then toss in battle line along the way, and we have our good old-fashioned cataphracts. Our science rate is no longer 100 science per turn, though, so we're quite a ways away from that. But we have 2 very interesting paths. Basically, short-term, Bodkin Arrow, longer-term, Barding. I really love the idea of getting Holy War very soon, though. Citizenship into Holy War would probably be my pick. You get 2 free Shotalize as well. And a law, which would actually be only our 5th law. But citizenship would give us a 6th law. So then come back down here all the way to rhetoric, and there you go. You get 7 laws as well. Really cool options here. I'd like to see this interesting tech path from Axum. Yagman's still on his break here, so I'm going to do a stat recap of the match itself. Wealth. 5,000 wealth on Axum to 2,000 for Assyria. 34 population for Axum to 28 for Assyria. 21 specialists on Axum to 13 for Assyria. Their workers have evened out. There's about 14 to 12, although some of these on Nizar are actually disciples from when he manually spread Judaism. Military units produced now is 27 for Yagman to 25 for Nizar, and now it's 8 ships for Yagman to 3 for Nizar, so that number is starting to factor in ships now for Nizar. However, units lost, Nizar has lost 9 units compared to only 5 for Yagman. Laws adopted, still good law pressure for Nizar. 21 technologies on Yagman to 19 for Nizar. Improvements, 94 to Yagman, 59 to Nizar. And only one wonder, we have the Ishtar Gate And Nizar is building the Chthon, which should be quite interesting. Orders rate, slight advantage here to Assyria. Science rate is huge. Military score, still, look at this dip here. I wanted to check this out. We took a 200 or 300 point dip from losing that battle as Assyria. And now it looks like we have some movement. Yep, repairing. Interesting. So we're repairing with militias, so I'll be curious if Nizar decides to get aggressive here and swat this down. I suspect he would not. Would also like to see some upgrade to at least one horseman. But we also need to be mindful of the Colosseum that we want to build. So that that might prevent us from spending food. We are building a horseman, actually, in 2 turns. A 2-turn horseman, 3-turn horseman in general. That's incredible. Really, really great to see there. And let's not forget, Nizar has just recently gotten Spoked Wheel. He just got it last turn. He's doing phalanx now, which is actually good. He's going to need these spears. So another solution, once you start seeing spears here, is going to get these horse archers, because these horse archers will still do the full damage to spears. They obviously trade the route ability, but horse archers can still counter spears, which is nice. All right, 5 orders left on the Axumites. Still vulnerable out here in the ocean with a naval buildup. We're going citizenship. I love this. Oh my god, if Yagman really does decide to just say, screw it, I'm doing martial code, that'll get him a tower, which will make this city even harder to take. Put towers in that city, towers in this city. There is a moat. Put a judge here. Just buy the towers, the moat and the tower outright. And then, wow. I mean, I would be surprised. I've been knocking walls a couple of times in this game, but I mean, walls is one thing. Towers is a different thing entirely. Very different calculation. But citizenship is certainly going to be good. What's our political situation? Really amazing opinion on the patrons. Again, this is just one city. This is what you get from a family that has no discontent. And you can tank that envy, no problem. Doesn't matter that there's just one city. I love this spin here for the patrons, the way you're utilizing that strength. Again, no discontent in the city, so complete science rate coming in from the city. No reduction there. Really nice to see. Back to our boy Nizar. Let's see what he's up to. Let's see what he's thinking. More Jewish disciples coming out. Yeah, that's affecting the worker count here. More ships, 1 turn. He has all these orders to spend. Would like to see maybe some chopping sprees, because he's not really going to have much to spend on his orders. Maybe improving units. Go do a round of promotions on all of his guys. He has a scout down here. Going to try and head back into the wilderness. Love to see that. He can force march that scout where it needs to go. And once he's ready, I would also maybe be promoting these units, right? Amphibious would be useful for these coastal units. Really useful. And then you can try to make your ships stronger for when you want to go in for this attack. Really unfortunate that Yagman can't see this. He's not... Oh, okay, cool. So we have an agent network. We got our second agent network set up. Fantastic. And we put an actual agent in the city. So this is the example. I am in Yagman's perspective now, and Yagman has full vision of this site. He can see the Chthon. He can even see he can see the build queue. So he has all of the knowledge that we have. He has all the stats. He can see 17 science. He can see the projects that have been built in the city, the culture rate. He knows that this is 100 years away from being legendary culture, so Yagman knows he has culture superiority. He has all the information because of that agent network. So what we want to see is 2 more networks, and then Yagman, and then like another agent right here, and Yagman will have full, complete map knowledge of Nizar's game state and his position and his movements. That's the power of Portcullis. Very, very strong. Definitely hard to pull off because, like, something, if you go for colors, you can be vulnerable. All right, we have a ship coming in. We're going for an attack here. And naval superiority is swinging to the Assyrians. Do we have range? Nope, we don't have range to fire on those ships with this onager. One way to save this ship, you could put this ship in this bay. It does kind of leave it out in the open, but if Nizar tries to block it off there, his boat would die. But all right, so Nizar claiming the seas. After 70 years of naval dominance in Axum, the Assyrians finally take to the seas in their own ships and reclaim the waves. That, I think, is like the 4th ship that Axum has lost in this game. Ooh, really nice Chancellor. 1.8 great growth in every city. That's nice to see for Nizar. Let's look at his political situation. Pretty great with the Jewish faith propping everybody up. Not bad at all. Almost all families are Jewish. All right, back to Yagman. Let's see how he responds at sea. And let's see if, well, I guess his agent is on cooldown, so he needs to wait 4 more years before he can make another network. But let's see if he tries to do anything about this boat problem up north. Bit of a pickle. And I think with more ships coming out, you have 2 more ships coming out in every turn. I think Yagman will be losing control of the ocean. Cool, he's just sending his ship, his navy down south. All right, that's an interesting play. I mean, the best that Nizar can really gain from being up here is pillaging some stuff. Maybe some harassed on the shore, but they'll put him in onager fire, and then maybe an anchor to get better anchoring here, but it's still the same problem of this will be a tough city to crack into. Horsemen coming out in 1 turn as well, so the power, the danger of these planes is going to increase. Let's see if Nizar did not move this scout yet. Not seeing a lot of promotions on these ships, though. I'd like to see a little bit more promotions. What a great game. $340 discontent for the champions, though. That is one of the drawbacks of going so heavy on one family taking up most of your empire. You have so many levels of discontent funneling into one family, rather than spreading it around. In fact, in some ways, envy is easier to manage than discontent, to be totally honest. All right, this might be tempting for Nizar, this full repair. Nizar might decide to come in and punish this. But he would be in for some hurt if he did, I think. How many pagan cities do we have around? 1, 2... Maybe we don't do divine rule. Maybe we do legal code instead and get ourselves an extra, what would it be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 50 civics per turn? That seems good. The divine rule for only 2 orders doesn't seem worth it. $45 training in the Axumite champion seat compared to 61 training in the Assyrian champion seat. Woof. Really nice. Oh, we have a new ruler on the throne. 31-year-old Zealot. The hero is dead, but we officially have a Zealot on the throne. No civic stockpiled for enlisting, but if we be mindful of that. So yeah, getting citizenship and then adopting legal code will help fuel the Zealot god and his fury to recruit units. I'll be curious if Nizar will feel more comfortable going up against a Zealot, and maybe he goes back in. I suspect not. Oh, the Colosseum has begun. Big, big development in this game. Turn 71. The Axumites have zeroed out their economy, essentially. No resources, only 185 gold in the bank and 17 wood. So we sold a good amount of things, and we have the Colosseum being started. Annoyingly on a hill. That's annoying because it's just going to take one extra turn. He could have done it down here, but whatever, doesn't matter. So in 17 turns, we're going to have two effects here. A free swordsman on the map, and then this city is going to get 11 training per turn, bringing the capital to 30 training per turn, which is not bad for a military city that you haven't been investing barracks or training in, right? So with no military development, suddenly the capital will become a bit of a military city. That's really, really nice. And sorry, I got distracted by that Colosseum, but we have a full arrival of the Assyrian navy to the southern seas, securing dominance down here. We've cleared out another ship, took another kill. Nizar took another kill. And now we have a serious problem for the Assyrians, for the Axumites rather. He's going to lose the ease of movements between both fronts because I fully suspect these ships are going to die unless he gets them inside cities. You can hide them in the cities. They will not be able to attack from inside the city, but they won't be able to get attacked. So there is two cities you can hide these in. He could have hid the other boat up in Sabat, but Assyria taking control of the seas. Oh, damn it. I may or may not be trying to pan for cool trailer shots. Maybe I want to come from this direction. Alright, well, whatever. Okay. What else is happening? 9 turns on the Chthon, so it's safe to say that the Assyrians have now complete dominance at sea. I do not think the Axumites will get it back this turn. Not even this turn, for the rest of the game, to be honest. We'll be curious to see if Yagman decides to build any ships here, but honestly, I don't think there's a point. The production in Assyria is just too strong. We have another ship coming out, but where are we headed? What did we just move? Why are we moving units down here? I don't like that. Oh, there's no more anchor up here. Okay. Well, that makes sense, because just get all these kills, and then you'll be able to anchor anywhere you want. Tricky situation for Yagman. He needs to kind of decide how much units he wants to put out in this frontier city. Do we have colonies access? We do. We could get colonies and purchase this whole coastline up. Alright, we're going for a kill. I don't think we're going to get it. Nope. We don't have another boat anywhere. So that just ensured we're going to lose 1, 2, 3, and if a crit happens, potentially 2 ships. Yeah. Really would have been smarter to just hide your ship in the city. Let's check out some events now. Don't want either of those. Can't afford that. Ooh, Zorro opinion's great. That's nice. We can take a lover, which is also pretty nice. Alright, that's unfortunate though. Yeah, I think the Axumite fleet is officially going to be at the bottom of the ocean in the next 2 turns. Alright. Okay, interesting. We got the ambition to get 6 monasteries. We're not going to see that anytime soon, I don't think. Maybe we grab it next turn. Is it in the deck? It's in our hand, rather? No, it's not. Probably wouldn't want to pivot to monasticism at this time. But not taking either of those ambitions would have been an opinion hit with our families, and we probably don't want to take that in the moment, so I can understand just taking this, even if we don't finish it. It's just a legitimacy hit, so whatever, I guess. Alright, man. Things are really heating up. Dim warrior in 1 turn from the capital. Running a council down here, running a woodcutter down there. 75 science per turn, so our science is climbing back up. Doing a 10-turn horseman out here. We could get more training to pop this down to like 8. Alright, we're building roads. Okay. I'm not really a fan of that. I would like to see... I mean, we don't have this... I mean, yeah, well, we have enough civics to swap. Swap into colonies and buy some tiles, although we have no economy right now because we just purchased the Colosseum. So, gonna take some time on that, I guess. But securing naval passage is going to be really tricky because now Nizar could anchor down to the south and start taking cities down here without worrying about this entrenched territory up north. Lots of different, interesting options here. That concludes the orders spent. 2 build queues available. Let's see what we can build. We can build a ship, but we probably don't want to build a ship. Building a treasury, inexplicably. I can't figure out why we would do that. Yeah. Not sure I understand. But I suppose we like economy. Alright, back over to Nizar. Really, really amazing Zorro opinion, though. Which is actually keeping us above the water with our 2 families. Alright, back to Nizar. I suspect we'll see some devastation and see no crit. Alright, 1 hit. And that's a dead ship. And then I'm pretty sure if he force marches to right here, both of those ships will be locked. No, he doesn't need to force. If he moves right here, both of these ships will be locked in place. So the entire Axumite Navy will be dead and not be able to retreat. You want to go right here. Let's see it, Nizar. Let's see it. Oh, nice! Nice, and we get a crit too. So the Axumite Navy is fully defeated, completely locked out with zone of control, with nowhere to go. Fantastic. Nowhere left to go for the Axumites. The Assyrians have claimed rulership of the seas. How many seas do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 6 seas. Too bad. We're 1 shy of 7. Nice to see. Yep, that's a big blow for Axum. Some chariots coming up as well. More rams coming up. How far are we from our 7th law? We have machinery. We're getting phalanx. I mean, I guess we're worried about horses. That makes sense, I guess. Monasticism monasticism would be our 7th law. That's what we need to get for siege towers, which would be nice. Crazy game. Okay. Building some improvements. We have a barracks, a range getting built in this forward city. No ability to cross the ocean now, but in just a few turns, once this Axumite navy is cleaned up, Assyria will be able to do whatever they want with their anchor ranges. Create full and total movement across all the seas. Across all the water tiles, so that's really cool to see. All right, back to Yagman. We have 8 more years on the Chthon, 15 more years on the Colosseum. And the final battle at sea. Oh! Do we make an escape route? We make escape route for one boat. We kill the free Byreme, the free high promoted Byreme. Vengeance at last after all these years in the same sea that we started here. When this free Byreme came out and Yagman had an opportunity to kill it ages ago and let it slip away in the same sea as the last of the Axumite navy gets destroyed, he takes vengeance on that blasted free Byreme. Great. Great to see. What a wonderful story of that ship. Oh man, I want to write a whole story about that one free Byreme. Love it, love it, love it. And we're building this road. Alright, so now we have a decent enough movement. Alright, yeah, so that's not bad. Check this out. This guy can get here. Not too bad. We'll see if Nizar has the wherewithal to try and zone of control lock some of these movements. If he can. Might be tricky. But Axum doesn't have a lot of ranged units, so you could pull it off. Getting our food economy up and running. Love to see that. We know we're going to be building more horses at some point, so we only have 18 food per turn. We will need more food to support a cavalry. We have 100 wood per turn in Axum, compared to 62 wood per turn in Assyria. So both nations have high wood income. That's pretty solid to see. Really, really good game. Very evenly matched at this state, I think. 8-turn Fisher. Man, some of these 8-turn specialist things I don't quite understand, but, I mean, it is what it is, I guess. We can build... We're building another horse down here, so that'll be nice. We could use some barracks down here as well. A Zoro disciple to keep spreading the faith. The Thracians love us, so we could get peace with them as well and stop any potential raids from coming to us at all, which is nice, because they are now follow our world religion. And that is all the orders spent on Axum. We have one build queue left down here. Curious what he's going to choose. Hopefully more military. And yep, we go for an Axeman. Like to see it. Good job. Cool. We pass back to Nizar now. Nizar is going to do the final cleanup. We have some great tech choices. Machinery, his 7th law on monasticism, or battle line. Or I guess the free ram, but we don't really need the ram at this point. I think grabbing the ram would be a mistake, since we can build rams in 2 turns anyway. No point spending the science on it. And Nizar will take I suspect he will take his victory at the sea shortly. Come on, buddy, you can do it. Not complicated, just take 3 hits. 4 hits, 1 hit with each ship should do it. Yeah, 12, and no, he literally just needs to do 3 hits. Fantastic. Fantastic. Still no movement on Nizar. Oh, he's doing his events. Got it. Doing events first. That's not a bad habit to get into, especially now that you have 6 minutes on your turn. There's less of a rush to move your stuff. All right. Here we go. The final stand of the Axumite Navy. And then Nizar can start thinking about where he wants to anchor and what movements he wants to make, what control he has over the ocean. We are going monasticism, so that will be our 7th law. And there we go. The final call. The Axumite Navy. The Axumite ships are all at the bottom of the sea. 8, maybe 10 ships. Let's take a look here. 8 biremes produced by Yagman. Every single one of them at the bottom of the ocean now. Amazing. Another bireme coming out for Assyria. Complete naval dominance. Nizar is king of the ocean. Let's see here. Chariot, bireme, battering ram. This is going to be great. We have mass upgrades. Hero still on the throne. 44 years old. We have a tactician as an heir. That's pretty solid as well if we need it. Building barracks, building stronghold. Building more ranges. Really ramping up this military machine in Assyria. And they both have 7 cities, by the way. Because Nizar took this central site and Axum took this central site. So both players are working with 7 cities in this tournament match. By the way, in case you don't know. Very nicely developed empire on both sides. Decent economies for both players. Really not solid food for Nizar. Decent wood as well. Decent enough resources all across the board. And the same is true of the Axumites. They're only lagging behind in food. They have really great iron and really great wood and stone, but they need to kind of prop up their food income, but they are working on that. Doing another range. So a series of ranges and barracks is all across the Assyrian Empire now. Getting that military machine more advanced than it already is. But still 9 turns away from monasticism. No judge on the throne, so that's 9 turns to the tech at least. And then it'll be another 6 turns, so we're 15 turns away from our unique unit, which means the Colosseum will be finished in time by the time the battering rams are ready to go. Not that swordsmen counter battering rams at all, but they will make quick work of anything else in the area. You'll just have to do a good job of protecting the sword. It's just 1, and it will only come every 5 turns. No, it comes every 10 turns. Yeah, I made sure that got nerfed. When it was originally came out, the Colosseum gave a swordsman every 5 turns, and I thought that was ridiculous, and I complained about it relentlessly. So now it's every 10 turns. That was like a couple years ago, though. Or last year or something. All right, we are going with Stronghold. We're going with Barracks. Okay, we'll have another location to build Demits if we need to. How far are we? We could get some more culture in the city. We have 8 strength potential in Sabat, 8 strength potential in Kubar, a Duelist, and we need to improve... Oh, we can't improve these pearls anymore because we can't put workers into the ocean. So that's no longer an option. And we're going to see Odeon here. All right, so he's mindful of the fact that he wants to be able to get his culture coming up online. We still have a law issue on Yagman. He has 4 laws. Citizenship will be his 5th. But honestly, I mean, the towers are terrifying. But stirrups, I think, really solves that problem. Getting horsemen. Let's see if we can do a comparison right now. A horseman will do 10 damage to a battering ram that's in the woods. So I think a siege tower out in the open would probably still take about 8 damage-ish, if not 10, if it's out in the open. Probably 7-ish if it's in the woods, if I were to guess 7 or 8 in the woods. Yeah, so that's really nice. That's just me guesstimating. I don't have... It's just my intuition. I don't know the actual math. I do know the math, but I forget constantly, so it's hard. It just experience that makes me guesstimate that type of stuff. We have one more turn until we can get another agent network for the Axumites as well. Really, really want to see an agent network in Nimrod. I feel like this is the most important city to spy on. And we have complete dominance of the Navy. We're running up. Honestly, now you can put this onager in this city and just fire on the fleet. So that might not be the best place to put ships. You want to back off outside of onager range. Even just moving up 1 will get him in firing range of that. So I'll be curious to see if Yagman makes use of that free onager. Really nice grab from Portcullis as well. But yeah, heavy posturing from the Assyrians. A ship in the water. So this is all Assyrian visibility. They can see all this. They have a scout here, a ship in the water so they can see all this coast. Yeah, they have really good visibility here. Nice. Another ship just came out. Another ram just came out. Moving that ship up. Yep, we're going to have total sea supremacy. We have raids coming, but now Nizar has a navy to deal with the raids. He has 2 raids. He has raiders from Thrace, raiders from the Vandal land, and raiders from the Vandal land over here. So lots of raiders. Has been harassed. And I made a note. I went back and reviewed some of the previous sessions just to stay appraised of the situation. And Nizar had a couple of opportunities to make truce with these nations, with these tribes. And he does have an ambassador. So really nothing prevents Nizar. It's not like this is random chance that's punishing Nizar more than Axum, right? Nizar has the tools he needs to end this raid. He literally just needs to make peace. What does it cost to make tribal peace? Tribal truce literally takes just 200 training, which he has plenty of. And then tribal peace, I think, is something like, what, 400 training? So just spend a little bit of training and end this harass. You know, end your frustration. It'll save you orders in the long run. Sometimes I think that some players might think that, like, the tribal element is a bit random. And of course, there's some randomness to it, but you do have control here, especially at this stage in the game. Nizar is calling for this to be the last turn. Yagman agrees, so we will be going to a part 4 question mark? Tense action. A failed Assyrian invasion of the Axumite Peninsula. Nizar tried to go in for the finishing blow, but just didn't have it in him. Tactical blunder on his hero. Failed launch offensive. Got a devastating 5 kills for the Axumites. Rushing out a horseman here. Don't hate that. Put a few turns of production in it, reduce the cost, and then bring it out. Don't hate that at all. Let's take another quick look. Now that we have no navy, this is a good sign. Now that the Axumites have no navy, the fact that they're still stronger is incredible. In fact, they didn't even dip at all, so maybe I've been overvaluing the impact of these biremes. That's weird to me, and I don't quite understand that, but great. Cool to see. Great news for Yagman. 13 turns away from the Colosseum. 5 turns away from mint coin 4. So that's going to be an extra 40 legitimacy in total. It's going to double his current legitimacy from that coin. It's currently giving him 20. It's going to go up to 40, so that's nice. That'll be a 20 legitimacy increase. Good for his opinion. Good for his orders. That'll basically be 2 extra orders per turn. Love the coin. It's a bit of an investment. It requires a legendary city to be really great. Well, at least strong, really. Strong is good. It requires culture. Another thing that makes patrons pretty solid on the Axumites. I really like this map because I think in many different subtle ways it's kind of showing off the power of patrons. So I appreciate Yagman for giving us a little bit of that sort of tutorial of why patrons is a nice pick. You know, we had a couple precious in the capital, so we got legendary, and our opponent is, 100 turns away from their own legendary city. So we got that timing to get out a really powerful wonder. We can get the Hagia Sophia, we can get the Circus Maximus, or we could get the Heliopolis, I believe, is in the game as well. No one ever built the pyramids. Are you kidding me? The pyramids have been in the game this entire game. No one ever built the pyramids. My mind is blown. What is happening? Crazy. Building quarries makes sense. Get that stone income back up. Although 100 per turn is pretty solid. What do we do? More quarries? Nope, more lumber makes sense. Although, again, 110 is pretty solid. Going full bore into improvement construction. We're spending 13 orders per turn on improvement. So Yagman still feels safe here. Nothing's anchoring off the coast yet. So he can spend his orders on economy now. Oh, I love this. I love this. An Axumite warrior getting sent into these woods, denying a location. So instead of this farm, I would have loved to see Axum come down here and start chopping these woods. Deny Yagman vision, and we have a new agent network. So look at the vision we have. We have complete vision, and we can see what our opponent is building. This is the Axumites' vision. They have full vision of this empire. They don't have an agent network here, but they can still see the border, so they can't see the build queue like we can. But they have full knowledge of this build queue. They can see the workers, they can see everything. So 5 more turns, we'll be able to get 1 more network, and then Yagman will have complete vision of everything that's important in the empire. Then he can march his scout down here and just keep an eye down here. Really, really cool. Love to see that. Glad he started utilizing that scout and agent network potential. Really great to see. So what else is happening on this turn? Going for some disciples, going for more demits. Probably can't afford any horsemen right now. Yeah, not really, unfortunately. You could sell some stuff, but probably not worth it. Going for a rancher. And that concludes what I think is the final turn. We're going to be ending on turn 75 here, I think. All right. Pausing up. Probably going to negotiate a save. Still a science advantage for Yagman. 4,000 science invested into the tree compared to 27 science invested into the tree. Military score, still advantage. Yeah, this didn't even budge from him losing a bunch of ships. I think this dip was him losing the ships. That's wild. All right, so I've been overvaluing the way the military score has been tracking this. So, yeah, Yagman has been apparently legitimately stronger than Nizar for quite some time. So that's interesting. Foot and mouth about that, I guess. Orders. That's the last one I want to look at. Orders. Neck and neck and orders. Plus or minus worker turns. Let's see. What do we have? All right. Yep. So they're ended now. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. If you've been with us live for this whole session, we still have quite a few of you in the chat. Thanks for being here. I hope you enjoyed this session. If you're watching after the fact on YouTube, really appreciate you making it this far. I am Siontific. This has been Nizar versus Yagman Part 3 tournament match. And this has been Old World. We will end the session here and tune in next time and keep up with the tournament.